I got some Makrolon, which is just a fancy plexiglass. This stuff, it's used, but it's brand new. You can see it still has the cover on it. These came out of a plant in the area. My buddy was working there, and they changed up their equipment. These are safety guards that they got rid of the equipment, so they were getting rid of the guards. So this stuff's more expensive than I feel like it should be these days, but these chunks were free, so I think they're perfect. It's a hot day, need some water. So they're kind of reusing. You can see they've got handles screwed to them. We're going to take the handles off. They'll leave a couple little holes, but for what I'm doing, I haven't had a window in some of these spots, and I bet it hasn't had one in 15 years. So mostly to keep the bulk of the rain and some other stuff out. We try to keep the bugs at bay. I'll take the handles off. They're nice handles, will be good for something. I don't know what, but maybe we'll use them. I'll probably just put some silicone in the holes just to plug them up. Oh, stainless fasteners too. It was a food plant, so it makes sense to be stainless. So, now that we've got a nice sheet of, not new, but halfway decent material, we're going to put our old window, because I actually have an old window for this particular one. This is for the door that we're doing, on here. And if you don't like me using used materials, feel free to send me some cash for new. Don't make anything off YouTube, so I do scrounge some materials. And we're going to bring it right up to the edge. That's a nice straight edge, might as well use it. And this stuff isn't cheap, so might as well leave as big a scrap in one spot as I can, just so I have something I might be able to use down the road. I don't think I'm going to be able to get at it having both sets of holes here. So we're going to run with that. This one little corner isn't quite making it on, but I think it'll be okay. You can actually glue this stuff together. We'll look into it. Maybe you can, you can't see right here. This little corner didn't quite make it on. You can actually plastic weld or glue this stuff. It's a good edge, so maybe we'll try that. But we got to cut out the main part first. So I got a Sharpie. Just gonna trace right around. I'm placing it because you can't see through it. This stuff tends to UV degrade. If you actually feel the edge of this feels thinner than the clear part. The clear part was actually under the gasket, so it's protected from UV. So it has degraded. This has a cat part number I noticed in one of the corners, but I'm not going to buy one. They're expensive. And so I do have this cardboard. You can see I traced out. I wanted to check because I actually have this window traced, and I also have the window for this. So I wanted to see how much overlap to the gaskets, and it turns out the window is a 1/4 inch larger than the cutout. So knowing that, we'll use that for the ones where I don't have the glass. This one, since we've got it, the plexi, we'll just trace it and make another of the same, and that'll surely fit because it fit before. So we're going to use a jigsaw. And I think we're going to look at the blades I got. I think we probably want a pretty fine blade. If not, something will happen, it won't be good. So maybe we'll try clean wood first. This looks like it's a fresh blade, should be sharp. See how that does. Doesn't cut right, we'll try a different one. I don't have anything that says plexi, and don't worry, I didn't look it up first. Usually when I cut this stuff, if it doesn't have a covering, I'll put masking tape on it. This has the protective cover, so it should be okay. I guess we'll see. I've actually made a really nice cut. Super smooth, clean. That was a good choice of blade. So there's our rough window. I'm gonna go look up gluing this stuff together. It's a pretty good edge. If I remember correctly, you can, yeah, there's the blue line. If I remember correctly, you can use a solvent, soak it, and chemically weld it together. So let me look that up and we'll see what we can figure out. Alright, so we're gonna try chemically bonding. I looked it up and you can use, it looked like it was methylene chloride. Pretty nasty stuff. I don't think I have any pure methylene chloride, but I have, the label fell off, but this is just a medium reducer, which is, melts just about everything. So I took 2 little scraps and a dropper, and I dropped some, I took the sheet off so I had a fresh clean face, and I put a couple drops on there, and I pretty well chemically welded these 2 pieces together. They don't move. It's been about a minute. So I used, get a kick out of this. Look at the label on this stuff. This came out of a barn I cleaned out. This is the oldest blue tape I think I have ever seen. Have you even seen those logos? So, anyway, had this kicking around. I'm not one to waste stuff. Might mean I'm cheap. Anyway, I took the corner of the offcut because it's got the right angle on it. And I cut it off a little long for this corner here. And I put tape on the bottom. I folded it up so it would form the seam here, a little bit of pressure. So now that that's in place, I'm going to get another piece of tape ready. It's peeling off a little funny, but it still seems to stick nice. Maybe we'll get a couple pieces of tape ready here. A couple pieces of tape. And I got a little pipette dropper here. I'm going to take a little bit of this stuff. I'm going to come right along this edge. Put some right on there. That should soften it up. I'm going to tape it in place. I'm going to see if I can use the tape to pull it. It shouldn't take a lot of clamping force. Might peel the backing tape a little bit. Doesn't look like it's really making a difference on there. Keep it nice and tight. Piece over here. Close this up. We got plenty of ventilation too. The barn door is open about 4 feet this way. So we're gonna let this sit, and we'll come check on it. I'll let it sit for at least the rest of the day. It's pretty straight. We're only adding maybe ½ an inch at the widest. So I'm gonna let that set up. We'll probably cut that tomorrow, but it'll be next. It's been 2 days. So I know this is cured, so let's pull the tape off. It feels solid, but let's see what we got. You can see a little gap at the end. Must not have been the tightest cut, but I think I'm going to cut most of that off. Maybe not the tightest right here. I'm going to see if I can cut this to size. We are about to, I cut some plugs, showed you that, out of this Makrolon. So we're going to drill these holes from the handles a little bigger to 1/2 inch because I had a 1/2 inch plug cutter. And I want to get rid of the chamfer that was on here. And we'll glue and plug these, and I'll stick a little more reducer on here and see if I can just get the last little corners to these two ends. We'll stick a little bit of reducer on them and tape it tight and see if I can get that a little tighter. But I think that's pretty successful, and really that's just the very edge. I'm just trying to keep junk out of the trim, so if that doesn't need to be structural. So let's put the window back on. I'll trace this, we'll cut it to the proper corner, and then we'll drill these and a little more gluing, and hopefully it'll be good. Looks pretty good. That drills aggressively. That wasn't how I intended it, but I think it'll work. These, I don't think are going to be invisible anyway. Folding the burrs in, cutting them with the bit. Not the most beautiful cut in the world. I got these clear plastic Makrolon plugs I cut. They have a slight taper to them, so you ain't gotta look at them and figure out which side to push in first. These aren't really structural, so don't worry too much about it. Thinking pretty tight fit. Maybe I got this wood underneath to back it up. Maybe I get these wet, start them, give them a little tap with a block of wood or a mallet, see if I can get them to just sink in there nice. See what I can find. Block of wood, a hammer, that should do it. Reducer is pretty nasty, so I'm going to wear some gloves because I think I'm going to get it on my hands otherwise. It's not just the pipette like yesterday. A little down the seam just in case there's another gap in there somewhere. Got that real healthy smell to it. It's not actually healthy, and it doesn't smell healthy either. I think either way that'll be fine. hole, put it on the plug. Straight on down. Uh-oh, I'm melting the surface, I think. Now we may have a funny spot in the window, but it is what it is. Better than a leaky spot in the window. Plug looks pretty good. See how it goes. Am I the best at this? No. Is it going to work? I think it will. Is there a way to do this without marking it? I'm sure there is. I'm also sure I don't know what it is, so. Well, here you go. We got one window. Is it perfect? No. Is it way better than the foggy one I had? Yeah, it is. So, I'm not going to get to put this in today anyway. This is pretty well good. There's a little marks around these. I might try some of that plastic polish on it. I may not. I don't know. You can see through it pretty well. It's good enough that I can operate with the door closed. The factory edge on this sheet, where it was done before, has a little bit of a chamfer on it. Mine do not. I think I'm going to take the file to it real light and just, this file seemed to work pretty well. Real light chamfer. It works pretty nice. It's a real coarse file. Don't want to plug up your file, so I'm file carding it. Just a file card. They're stiff brushes if you haven't used them. I'll have to wait to do that corner until it's cured, but I'll do this just so the it doesn't get caught on the gasket. I want a nice smooth round edge for wiggling it into the gasket. You'll see when we put it together why. It's these are fun to get in, and if there's anything caught, it's really fun to get in. Yeah, 2 people, it's not too bad, but they don't have help. Touch or anything, so these are not the prettiest plugs. They definitely have some ugliness to them. Hey, it looks like it sort of scrapes off with a fingernail. Some of it comes off, some doesn't. I don't know. Not going to worry about it. If I have a couple spots, if I siliconed it, I'd have the spots too, and this should be a lot drier than silicones. It's the same material, so it shouldn't have heat shrink crack problems. So, we'll see. I don't know. It'll work, at least for a while. And if these windows don't work right, I'll have to stop being cheap and I'll have to go buy a piece of plexi. For now, there we go. Now, the big one. Here's my template. Now we got a big template here. This is traced out of the opening. I marked this as straight because obviously my line isn't perfectly straight. It was a little bowed in there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bigger piece of plywood down so I've got a surface big enough to work on. And I'm going to take a straight edge. Now I need to space this an 1/8 inch out from the outside of this line because this line was traced inside the window opening. The outside of the line should be the window opening. I need an 1/8 inch bigger all the way around, so I'll take a straight edge, set it on here, take a knife, and just cut through the cardboard. And I'll have to come back and I'll probably just eyeball the corners. I've got the shape, but the 1/8 inch extra I'll just eyeball on there. So I'm going to cut this template out. And then I got a big piece of plexi, which it's used, it's got a few scratches, but I didn't spend a lot of money on it. I got it for free. So I'm going to set the template on there, I'll trace it out, we'll cut it out, and then that one will be done. That one doesn't need any welding, it doesn't need any holes plugged, it's just a nice piece of material. So let me get some plywood, we'll get this cut out, and we'll get going from there. Got our template cut out, and I got the plexi on here. As you can see, it's got a few scratches, but 1/4 inch, kind of expensive. It's still nice and clear. This edge and this edge are nice 90 degrees. They fit the sheet nice. I got some of the big scratches off the window. So I pretty much have to cut that, and then round this corner. So we got the template under it. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to put some masking tape on where we're going to cut, kind of over both edges, because I've had it in the past where the jigsaw leaves a nice scratch right around the edge and can leave a rough edge. So this blade seems pretty good, but I want to put the masking tape down, and then we'll put the template on top, draw it on, and then we'll cut it out with the jigsaw, and that way we should prevent scratching, you know, making it any uglier than it already is. I think the way it is now, I'm going to be sitting there like this, so these scratches are kind of behind me almost, and probably won't look out this way very much. This scratch is pretty low, probably just about below my armrest. So the part of the window I'm going to use is really in here, and that's pretty good. So I think this will work nice, and it's going to be amazing not having rain and snow coming in on me. When I get there and it's snowy, and I don't have a snowdrift in my seat, I'm going to be pretty happy. So let's throw a little tape on here and keep going. Got our tape, drop our template. I cut all these edges with a straight edge, so they should be pretty good. That's about our window. Actually a pretty good sized scrap. be really careful not to brush hard grit on this stuff. It scratches it real bad. No point in making it worse. Finish up these chamfers. Alright, so is it as pretty as one I bought from Cat? No. Also didn't cost the same. I think you can still get this stuff. I'm pretty sure Cat just cuts it to order, but I had the material, I made the window, came out pretty nice. I'm going to wait to take the tape off till I put it in. If I were going to store it a long time, I would take the tape off just because I know it can get really stuck. I'll try some glass cleaner. I know there's some small scratches. There's a little bit of dirt on here still. I hosed it off. It was sitting on a pile of junk for a while. But for what I'm doing, that'll be just fine. It'll be a nice window. And the fact it's got a few scratches and scuffs, if it drives me nuts, I'll spend the money later. But right now, I'd rather not spend the money. So there's a window. That's the way you can make them. We got two windows. We still need to. We got two windows. We still got to figure out that front door. If anybody has a parts machine for this, let me know. I don't have the front door that slides down in front of you or the lower track. Don't have any of that. Cat wants, I think it's almost a couple grand for all the parts. So I'm not going to spend that much on the front door. I'd spend that much on other parts first. But the bottom half, I got the tracks, so we can just cut a piece that sets in there. That'll be easy. Maybe I'll use one of these handles so it comes out easy. The top half, I'll have to make a frame or something if I can't find one. But if anybody's got one of these machines for parts and wants to be reasonable about a door and a front window, I'm very interested. So, I'll show you put them in next. So, we're in the excavator again, and there's a window. It's incredible. Never had a window there. The cylinder's dry. Better yet, oh, the door window. It's clear. And, better yet, it opens. And latches. And releases. And closes. Oh, and it gets better yet. The back window opens and closes as well. It's never been this nice. It's never been this nice. The bucket even has teeth. Oh, it's gonna be a good season.